Mayor Olivia Chow, thank you so much for coming on to Toronto the Politics, the show. And thank you so much for welcoming me into the mayor's office. Beautiful artwork around here, might I say. Could you maybe tell me about this piece right there?
It's Lauren Harris.
Yeah, I thought I recognized her.
Yeah. Well, I discovered this in the basement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some archive. And there are all these slats of things, and it's like underneath, it's buried. There's a whole bunch of group of 7 buried down at the basement of City Hall. And I couldn't believe, I thought, what? A Lawrence Harris of that size being buried? So I rummaged around with my flashlight saying, oh, are there other ones? And I discovered 3 more smaller group of 7.
I think the next time we talk, we might need to just go on an archaeology mission in the basement of City Hall.
I know. See
what's
in it.
Yeah.
So the city just purchased these artwork, and then they don't do anything with it. They just shove it somewhere. They don't even have a catalog.
What?
I know. Like my degree is in fine art. So the minute I saw that, Lauren Harris, right? And I thought, so I liberated it from obscurity, and it landed here. My protocol office.
I wish we could spend all day talking about the art around
Sorry.
here. But the next conversation, I'm sure, I want to make sure. The news of the day, I think, is Billy Bishop Airport.
Yes.
Could you maybe tell me about what the current status of Billy Bishop Airport? There has been a recent letter by the federal government. Where do things sit as of today?
No expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're familiar if no means no. But the province seems to think that just because the federal government said no, they are interpreting and saying later.
Mm-hmm.
And
that apparently was just a fringe group of Torontonians who
I
are opposed to this.
I heard. I don't know.
It feels a little bit larger than a fringe. It feels like there was a lot of opposition.
Yeah. I saw the fringe group included all the former mayors of the city of Toronto.
Radicals.
Radicals. Oh, my God. Anne Golden, who's the former president of the Conference Board of Canada. Very fringe, very radical. And then there was all these urban planners, former urban planners, Ken Greenberg, all these people that have, like, their titles has all these initials in it.
So many letters, yeah.
Yeah. And then there are these people that are aviation expert, economists that said the math doesn't work, the financing doesn't sound right. And then, of course, there's thousands and thousands of ordinary Torontonians that said, don't you dare touch my park. This is beautiful waterfront. How do you sell a condo or any building or rent it, or even build if you can't open the window? Because that was the advice. Don't open the window. The air might be a problem. So,
and I imagine even the plans put so much uncertainty into that whole region where I bet we can probably look through the renting data, the sales data, and I bet probably there's a little less interest along the waterfront just because of all the uncertainty that has brought on from the potential expansion. I was chatting with Chris Glover the other day about, we were actually had the chance to interview in Little Norway Park.
Nice.
Chris Glover, MPP.
Did you check out the lion?
Oh, no, I don't think I
What?
did.
Okay.
Tell me about the lion.
Okay. Little Norway Park, at the back of it, there is a playground. But, just a playground. But in the heart of it, there's a lion. It's made by concrete. It's beautiful sculpture. And the lion is really a slide. Yeah. You can go through the lion and come out. So for little kids, and I watch a 2-year-old kid, toddler, laughing and like she's barely walking.
And I bet that's the kind of thing that wouldn't be able to be taken advantage of, if that was expanded, if there were jets.
No, it would be destroyed.
It'd be horrible. You couldn't be there. So what are you asking from the provincial government around Little Norway Park?
Leave it alone. Give it back.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to do that?
I don't know, but hey, when people spoke up recently, no more expansion of the airport. Wait, if you don't expand the airport, why do you need the park? What are you going to do with Helen's Beach? Right? And we have to put all the plants in, put a lot of the sand in, prevent erosion, right? Leave our beach and our park alone.
How is your relationship with the provincial government right now?
We do a lot of work together because there's we cross over a lot of files, are both federal, provincial and municipal, whether it's transportation or long-term care homes or child care, housing shelters, ambulances. It's all, a lot of it share responsibility. So we continue to work with each other. We'll agree to disagree on the island airport issue.
You entered office in 2023. You've had a shortened term. I'm not sure exactly what happened with the other guy, but we don't need to talk about your predecessor. In your time since becoming mayor, can I ask you, what accomplishment are you most proud of?
There are a few. I think being able to feed every kid in every school, including like under 18, teenager might not want to be called a kid, but to have a decent meal, it's pretty important. 430,000 of them. It saved their parents about $900 a year. And with the cost of food so expensive and so many people going to the food bank, people are just barely making it. By the time they finish paying rent, there's not much left. So being able to no fare increase, save family some money, fare increase, it's like $150 if it's a couple.
Yeah.
Right? If you take TDC all the time.
It feels like, I think in Toronto, cost of living will always be a perennial conflict, an issue that people are talking about.
Yep.
I think chief among costs for most people is housing.
Right.
Can I ask you, as mayor, what do you think can be done to improve the cost of living, and how can you make housing more accessible for more people in Toronto?
Yeah. Well, build a lot more housing that people can afford. First, you have to build a lot of them. In the last few years, because the economy hasn't been very good, the interest rate is still a bit too high. So all the builders stopped building. And then, well, the good thing is the rent is going down. That's a good thing. But you still need to build some housing. So we're looking to make the cost of building what you have to pay to the city less, which means that you can build more. In exchange, we're asking in about 10,000 of them, 10,000 units, to give us a fifth of them being affordable. So every which way, I'm saying I need more affordable housing. The definition of affordability used to be 80% of market, which is still expensive. Right now is a third of your income, which is truly affordable. The wait list for affordable housing is huge, it's long, it takes forever. So we absolutely need to build a lot more housing. Cooperative, land trust, all of that is what we are looking to do. And we've been able to do quite a lot of it. Like in Friday, we are opening another shuffle in the ground. Today we did one that's opening. I wasn't able to go. It was Indigenous men with NAMI Rest. So we're opening almost every week. We are opening a new home or shuffle hitting the groundbreaking, which is exciting.
Yeah, there's the project in Davisville that opened up recently that I think I remember it provided some dedicated units to Indigenous elders as well. And it does seem like the city is at sometimes stepping in to some of these responsibilities that the province might not.
First time in 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we haven't built affordable housing for 30 years.
How do you explain that? Like, what do you think?
Something
what's gone
happened
wrong?
in the mid-90s. And mid-90s, the market will do it. Government is not going to do any brick and mortar, so it'll take care of itself. Market will take care of it. Don't worry. Guess what? For 30 years, if you don't build any housing, you're seeing a total disaster. That in terms of homelessness, rent is too high, and it's hard to afford to buy anything. And there are people that are homeless because it's just so expensive. So it didn't work. And that's why the city is back into building housing.
And, not to speak on your behalf, but I can imagine it can be a little frustrating where it feels like there are a lot of issues that might be affecting Toronto right now, which are the byproduct of many decades of decisions by all levels of government that people then look around and say, well, Olivia Chow is mayor right now, and it's all her fault.
Yeah, of course it is. But one of the things is that, the most ignored group in the city? Renters. Half of the people rent. And it used to be there's these bogus excuses. The landlord said, I'm going to renovate. You might put a new sink in, but I don't need to vacate because you're putting a sink in. Now we put in a renovation bylaw. All the eviction stopped.
Yeah.
It's because they have to justify it to the city, and they couldn't. And that helps. So helping people from being evicted illegally, rent being illegally raised. We have lawyers that help tenants. We have something called Rent Bank, which is if you spend thousands of dollars doing a root canal, for example, then you're falling behind on rent.
Yeah.
You're going to get evicted. We step in to help you pay. It's assuming you have a steady job. You're just behind. Because some people are just one or paycheck away from being, falling over the edge. So we Can
I ask, sometimes it feels like there's this dichotomy between the needs of, especially single family homeowners and renters who might live in higher density apartments.
Why? What do you mean?
It feels like whenever there might be a new development, there seems to be a conflict. There's the people who live in an existing community who are opposed to that new development. And I'm curious, as mayor, how do you balance those two sides, that the concerns of people who live in a community that is densifying with the needs of people who could possibly live there? How do you...
You negotiate.
Yeah.
I used to be a city councillor, and for downtown Toronto, there's a lot of high-rises in downtown Toronto, but there are some very nice single-family homes. The Harbour Village, the Annex, the Seton Village, it's like really nice homes. And they can live side by side, right? And you don't want to be so tall that there's literally no sun anywhere. And I think the key thing is complete neighborhood. So look at St. Lawrence area. Okay, I used to represent that area. So you have a beautiful park in the middle. There's all these condos and cooperatives, affordable housing all around. You can't tell which building belongs to whom or what. They sometimes live in the same building. Higher income, lower income, doesn't matter. There's a community center with a pool, with a school, and like lots and lots of library, walkable area. And St. Lawrence Market North is not far. So it's not just about density. It's how you plan a neighborhood. Is there public art around? Is it walkable? Is it comfortable? Does it serve the whole family? Or people are totally isolated with no place to go? So if you do it properly, then higher density, lower density, it could work.
What do you think about the pedestrianization of Church Street?
There's a evaluation period, but in my days as a counselor, I started Pedestrian Sunday. That in Kensington Market, that every Sunday or last Sunday of the month, you close Kensington Market and people have a great time. And initially, the merchants said, "Oh my God, with no cars here, we'll go bankrupt." Well, actually, their business went up. Now, they didn't want to, after a few years, they sort of want to take a break. They worry the value of the homes and the businesses are so successful that it go up. It just get so trendy, then the business get evicted, right? Because you see at Queen West, it used to be a place where artists, where the bamboo and Cameron House is still there, Horseshoe is still there, but a lot of those funky places because place got very expensive because it was so successful. So Kensington thought, let's not do that. So it was very successful in terms of the Pedestrian Sunday at Kensington Market. So it needs to be bottoms up, needs to be the local residents and business need to want it, and that you can then negotiate and make it happen. So those are some key criteria for it to be successful.
So my first job out of school, I was the executive director of the Cabbagetown BIA.
Yes.
I was way too young for the job, and I left.
BIA is great. It's business improvement area.
I love
right?
BIA so much.
Cabbagetown is a fabulous place.
It's a wonderful, despite my best efforts, it was really succeeding as a business community.
Do you know how to chop that cabbage in half?
I'll tell you, this was a source of controversy, actually, because when I was running the the Cabbagetown Festival, they do the ceremonial cabbage cutting.
That's right.
And have you had a chance to do it?
Yes.
It's as you're right, as mayor. I think I didn't realize it was supposed to be the mayor, and I offered it to Kristen Wong Tam at the time, and I got an angry email from the mayor's office at the time. But
about what?
They said this was, you gave it to the wrong politician. This was supposed to be someone else.
Well, then have 10 cabbages. Everybody can have a chop.
A big line down.
No fighting. Yeah, that's what they do now. So every politician gets to chop a cabbage.
A cabbage for every politician.
That's right. That's right. Like, no fighting over cabbages. Can you believe it?
So a big financial cost for us year over year. I'm just going to make sure we're okay on time. Our financial cost, the biggest increase we were experiencing was on security.
Yes.
And I think something that has come to occupy
the Cabbagetown BIA, right? Or the festival.
The festival specifically was when you close down a street, there are certain requirements about hiring security. Police have certain expectations about the number of officers. And, recently there was the very tragic shooting at the Salsa Festival on St. Clair West. And I think that has brought up a bit of a conversation around our safety on our city's streets more broadly. I'm curious, when you think about safety in Toronto, how do you evaluate it? What's your perspective on the Toronto streets? And do you feel like there is a safety issue in Toronto, or do you think that might not necessarily be an accurate representation of what's going on right now?
People are feeling unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to feel unsafe. If they don't feel that they could step out and be able to enjoy a festival and they're worried about it, then that's important. We need to deal with that feeling of not being safe, right? So, yes, statistics say that the shooting is down, carjacking, robberies, everything has fallen. Youth violence, we have the lowest murder rate in 50 years. But all of that putting aside, the feeling of safety is important, which is why on the festival front, that it's important for people to come out because it's free. Free festival means you can, no matter who you are and where you came from, whether you have money or not, you can be out in the street. There's music. You can feel you belong in that area, and you can have a pint or not, or buy some food or not, and without spending a penny, you can have a great time on a street festival. So I doubled the amount of money that it went from $2 million to now $4 million in order to support the festivals so that there are now more of them, more safety measures. People feel that they're protected. So they are very successful. Every weekend there are 4 or 5 or 6 different festivals, and they are a very safe place to be. Aussie Fest was just last weekend. We have beaches, jazz festival. Coming up is Jerk Fest, Carabana, you name it. We are so famous as a city, a huge metropolis, that people from everywhere can come together and celebrate on the street. That's really important. But one of the things that keeps me up at night is intimate partner violence. If you look at just in the last 7 days, a woman was shot to death by someone that used to be the partner that was charged, and still she was killed. And just a few days before that, a woman was stabbed to death by a former partner. And those are horrific. And for the first time, the police is now tracking how many intimate partner violence there are a year and looking at ways to do prevention work. because we didn't even used to track it. When I first came in as the mayor, I said this is a serious problem, and we need to deal with it. So that's and it doesn't get as much profile, but it's worrisome that within a few days there's 2 deaths.
I think that the difficulty with the media environment right now is often not every safety issue does get the same media attention, and we elevate maybe the more sensational stories, and something like intimate partner violence doesn't get the same news coverage. I am curious, I think a lot of my audience, I would say, can be skeptical of the role of police in safety in the downtown core, or just in Toronto more broadly. Over the course of your time as mayor, the police budget has increased by about 23%, I believe. Mm-hmm. Could you tell me a little bit about that? How do you approach the police budget relative to investments into, alternative response approaches, or say into community investments? How do you navigate that?
Mm-hmm. Well, you need both.
Yeah.
Having young people finding purpose, a good sense of belonging, is really critically important. So, $5 million a year we invest in youth safety program. What are they? They are, of course, more parks and recreation program, but mentorship program. We have organizations that works in jail, that works in the hospital. If young person has been shot or in jail, if they want to turn their lives around because it's the most vulnerable moment, there are people assisting them. There are people that have had a past and got their life turned around. They become mentors. They talk to different people, young people, to say, hey, there's a different path forward. And there are lots and lots of programs that have started just in the last few years that are very successful. The other, in terms of the policing, is their salary, because of inflation, goes up. So I think 90% of their budget is really their salary, which means that they negotiate, or sometimes they go to arbitration and they get a salary increase, which needs to happen. All working people has that. So you need to do both. You need to have a new group of young people becoming police officer, firefighters, emergency service people, EMS, like paramedics. But we added a fourth component. Because there's no reason why the police, if you have a mental health breakdown, the police are not going to be able to help you. But someone trained in mental health would be able to. So we added something called Toronto Community Crisis Team. They have their van, they have the uniform. If you call 211, or sometimes even if you call 911 instead of a police coming, a social worker or someone that's trained to deal with mental health issues that can do follow-up shows up and assist. They are now in subway stations. They prevent people from self-harm. They de-escalate situation. They help people that are in crisis, that are in public transit system. And we are putting it, we had a pilot, we're now putting in all stations. We'll have access to these crisis workers. So this multifaceted approach, getting the proper kind of help when you need it, calling 911, shouldn't have to wait so long, right? So it's now 3 to 10 or 15 seconds. Used to be way over 15 seconds, which is a problem.
Can I ask you, I think when people talk about safety on our downtown streets, a trend I don't really like, but many people start filming folks who are in crisis, or who are experiencing some sort of overdose, and these get, spread and become the images that people see downtown. I'm curious, what effect do you think some of the funding limitations on safe consumption sites. How do you think that's changed safety in Toronto?
Well, best way is to get people into a home.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been able to prevent about 9,000 people to become homeless. We've been able to house 4,850 people from shelters, sleeping on the street, into a home. That's important, so that there are less encampments, because it's cold, it's rainy. If they can find a shelter or a roof over their head, that's where they would go. So we are building 5 shelters, 6 shelters. Having said all that, those are really important things, because it's long-term solution. You can't begin to try to quit drugs or get back up on your feet if you have no roof over your head.
Mm-hmm.
You just have no routine. You're just basically trying to survive. So getting shelters and supportive housing, so that if you need drug treatment, if you need whatever mental health support, it's there for you, and there's stability. Okay, putting that aside. But there are people that are addicted. So it used to be that there's a place, not anymore because of the provincial funding. The city is trying to open up as many of the heart hubs, like, to support people's comprehensive care, food care, having a meal, you can take a shower, get laundry done, get a place where you can sleep in the evening. All of that is really important. Access to mental health work. But it means that there are people that are doing drugs are outside, and that increase people's anxiety, the general public anxiety. But we sort of predicted this will happen when you close safe consumption site. But they are ultimately, the best way is for places like Dunn House, which is supportive housing, where people can turn around their lives. And we've seen examples of it. Go to my website and see the story of Jason.
What's Jason's story?
6 years on the street, in and out of jail.
Yeah.
He was so despairing that he attempted suicide. Came very close.
Yeah.
Didn't die. There was a housing worker that finally said, Jason, try again, because he's keep trying to detox, and keep trying to get out of the addiction, failed. Try again. We'll find you a home. His relationship with his mother is really important to him, but his mom gave up, and the housing worker, come on, if you have a place, you can do this. And he moved into Dunn House. Oh my God. His life turned around. He loves to garden. He in my fridge, there's a pickle cucumbers, and he grew cucumbers, tomatoes. He knows how to do plants, mint, basil. He gave away 100 cucumbers. He decided to have a big barbecue for. It's just incredible success story, and he is now going around to say, "Hey, I made it. I made it because I have a roof over my head. That I have people helping me. You can do it too." Jason's story is so incredible.
I think that
because there's hope. It shows that if given the right condition, people can turn their lives around.
And, not to, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that story. And not to, simplify people to dollars and cents, but, even look at examples like, Helsinki, which has pursued a housing first approach to homelessness.
Yeah, very successful.
And they end up spending less per person housing people than dealing with, some of the consequences
of
homelessness.
If you look at Jason's life, he's been in and out of hospitals.
Yeah.
Each time in emergency ward, hugely expensive. In court, in jail. That's a lot more than, say, supportive housing. And to have a life destroyed because of addiction, think about the primary care, the doctors, the nurses. Now he's out there growing things and bringing people developing a sense of community. He called it the Dun Nation barbecue. So proud of it. So many people came out for the barbecue, and he helped put it together. It was just so fabulous. Here's a guy, 6 years in jail, right? And don't give up. It can change if we are given enough of the care they need. It works.
I think we're going to have to ask you for Jason's contact information.
You should.
I think you should be my next guest. Maybe.
You absolutely should. He is so fabulous. He will bring you a pickle.
Even just for the produce, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. He's learning how to cook, and found a girlfriend. Like, it's just like night and day. If you ask him what his life was like before, it's just like, wow.
I brought up Helsinki. I think part of the reason why I love cities so much is because they're these little natural experiments, I think we spend a lot of time in any local news ecosystem talking like we're the only people in the world who are dealing with this problem right now. When you look at other cities in North America or wherever, are there any models or plans or initiatives that you find inspirational, or anything that you think would be a worthwhile thing for Toronto to adopt?
Nordic country.
Yeah, just generally. Anything specifically?
Montreal is not bad.
Montreal
has been building a lot of housing. They have more collective sense of how we are in it together. And Torontonians' instinct is to stand up for each other, to take care of each other, to embrace rather than divide, to welcome people, to say we all belong here. If you look at Pride Parade, Caravana, all of that is like a sense of belonging, right? Our southern neighbors tend to want to dwell on our differences. That's exactly opposite from what we do. And I'm very proud of Torontonians because of that. So we don't have to look too far. I think we can know that we are really generous with each other. During COVID, I don't know, it was eons ago, but during COVID, we did. Yeah. We took good care of each other, right? And at least we tried. And that is our instinct. That is our city. And you see that on the street festival when someone is in trouble, the GoFundMe tends to get supported. And let's keep that tradition alive. So generosity of spirit.
I think sometimes the question I can ask is like, how do we heal the human spirit? Because sometimes I feel a little worried like that sense of empathy might be on the retreat. Yeah, right?
No, it
you don't think so?
No.
I can you tell me like what? Because maybe it's just I'm taking in too much news or bad news. Do you think that's what it is?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. You sit in a park and.
You know what park I've loved lately has been Christie Pits. I went there a couple
days ago. Yes, they're fabulous.
There's so much stuff going on there right now, and it feels like a great model of like.
Yeah, and the community center, there's a swimming pool, Alex stuff,
and the oven there, and everything.
The oven is great.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So, public places, go to the libraries, free. Okay, look at who's in it, and. Yes, community centers. Go to now. This is now not school year, but if you go to during school year, go into a teen zone, you will see young people, teenagers, teaching each other how to play video games. They have one big console. They have to share. They have to teach. That's great, and there's so much happening that. Give you a sense of optimism. And the art, Nuit Blanche.
Yeah.
Think about all the public things we do with each other. We should be quite proud. Name one other city in the world where everybody can be out in the street no matter who they are and not worried. Yeah, there was one reckless horrific, disgusting shooting in South Zone Sinclair. But we have so many of these so many events that are very safe.
And I think sometimes we talk about safety in a very narrow way, where a pet concern of mine is the growing rise of pedestrian fatalities. More people speeding. More people are dying on our city streets through a vehicular accident than through a shooting. What do you think can be done to make our city streets safer while ensuring that Torontonians can get to where they want to go?
Well, people can take more public transit.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. And we're building them. It's coming. And the slow zone is mostly, it's not a lot of slow zone left. We have, so more public transit. Think of the number of people that do bike share.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What a success story bike share has been, by the way.
Yeah. And during FIFA World Cup, 2,000 bikes per game.
Wow.
It's a lot of people cycling. And I think let's get the speed camera back. That would be nice. And the bike lanes helps. And I think as we are more conscious of the roads, so we have Vision Zero. So there are things that, pedestrian can walk first, and there's cameras. That recently we are piloting cameras that if you're stepping out of the streetcar, if the driver don't stop, we take a photo of them and we go after them. Because people stepping out of streetcars shouldn't get hit by a car behind them.
Mayor Olivia Chow, thank you so much for coming onto the show today. I really appreciate your time. Is there any last final note, maybe anything, a hidden gem in Toronto? What should be people taking advantage of in Toronto this summer, do you think?
Get on the water.
Yeah.
Go to the Pedestrian Park. And I know this summer they don't rent paddle boards or anything. Maybe have a blowout paddle board. Bring it there and then try the little lagoons and things like that. The art walk on the Pedestrian Park. And enjoy the summer. It's a beautiful place to be in the summer.
Olivia Chow, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun. I just interviewed the mayor today. Fun day. Thanks so much for watching Toronto The Politics The Show or listening to Toronto The Politics The Show. You can follow the show at Toronto The Politics The Show on Instagram or my personal account at Christopher Chiasson. Please leave a review on your preferred podcasting app, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or one of those. There's all these different podcast apps is the crazy thing. And it's if there's a podcast app you would like to use that you can't find this podcast on currently, let me know. I'll fix that for you. You just need to tell me. What else? If you need to get in touch with us, send an email, TorontoThePoliticsTheShow@gmail.com. A special thank you to Andrew Geraci, who helped me film today's episode. Andrew reached out and he was interested in what was going on with the show and offered to lend a hand. If you yourself like what's going on at Toronto The Politics The Show and you think you have some sort of skill set, let me know. I think the more the merrier, and local news works best when we got many different perspectives. So I'm always trying to figure out the way that we can kind of broaden the circle of folks who are working on this project. Also, can someone please share this conversation to r/Toronto on Reddit? I'm in an ongoing dispute with the Reddit moderators over there. They don't like that I've posted my own videos in that subreddit, and it'd really help me out if you would share it on my behalf. Thanks so much. This show is hosted and produced by me, Christopher Chiasson. Bye-bye.
Was that good?
5 o'clock, I have a meeting.
Sorry.